Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Lesser, and I'm the Business Development Manager here at United Training. Welcome to today's webinar, 5 End User Security Tips for the End User, presented by Technical Instructor George Powells. We are using the GoToWebinar platform for today's session, and we will share a copy of this recording with you. We do encourage participation throughout the webinar, so please use that questions panel in your GoToWebinar dashboard. With our limited time, we may follow up after the webinar with answers. United Training is excited to present this webinar today, so I'll now hand it over to you, George.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Wait a minute, where's my, here we go. Cool. I had to find my cursor. There we go. Good, excellent. This is security for the end user, 5 tips in 20 minutes. So we'll see, I don't know, I usually do instruction that's a lot longer, a full day instruction. And so I'm not sure if I know how to talk in just 20 minutes, but I'll do the best that I can. So I am George Powells. Yep, absolutely. Just so that you know a little bit about me, so you know who you're getting information from. I've been in information technology since Al Gore created the internet a long time ago, back in his basement. Yep. I know more about information security than Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, The Rock. Yeah, and I just wanted to get Dwayne Johnson's name in here because usually that'll get people's attention. Absolutely. So there you go. I raise chickens in my spare time. Basically, that means that I'm a chick magnet. Absolutely. And I'm absolutely a hoopy prude who knows where my cow is. Yeah, and I guarantee you, probably about 99% of the people have no idea what I'm talking about. But that 1% who knows what I'm talking about, yeah, is smiling to themselves right now going, yeah, I get it. Cool, excellent. So we're going to talk about 5 different tips today for the end user. This is basic security, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to know binary. You don't need to know hexadecimal. You don't need to know any of the complex stuff, okay? And so your 5 tips, okay, are going to include new and improved. That's going to be the first tip, new and improved. Number 2, don't click, okay? If you get nothing else from this particular webcast, just so you know, don't click. Number 3, ain't nobody's business. Yeah, absolutely. And my son will tell you, and I gotta tell you, he's in his mid-30s now. He'll tell you, Dad, don't talk like that. Okay. Number 4, 2 are better than 1. 2 are better than 1. And then finally, tip number 5 is get out. Okay. And so there you go. There are your 5 tips. Cool. So have yourself a great day. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got to get more details. Okay, we can do that. All right. Tip number 1 is new and improved. New and improved. What does that mean? That means it is incredibly important as a end user that you ensure that you do all of your updates. Incredibly important that you do updates. Update everything. Okay. If you've got a PC and you're running an operating system like Windows 10, make sure that you do the updates on your Windows 10 system. But wait a minute. Also, if you have any programs installed on that Windows 10 system, make sure you do the updates for it. Make sure you do the updates. There is always a menu item someplace in all of your applications, in all of your operating systems, that lets you know it would be in your best interest to click here to update, and it will go and update. If you're running a laptop with any operating system, if you've got a smartphone, if you have a tablet, if you have a Google TV like I have, I gotta tell you, it's an old Google TV, and it doesn't have updates anymore. But yeah, and you have an option to update that stuff, update it. Now, I'm gonna get highly technical on you now. If you have a wireless router that gives you the ability to connect to the network at home, do your updates on your wireless router. It's important. A lot of your systems come with vulnerabilities, not intentionally. No, 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 no. Microsoft does not write software that is weak in protecting your stuff. But from time to time, after that software has been released, they will find new weaknesses. And in order to eliminate those weaknesses, your best case scenario is to update the software. That will get rid of a lot of the problems. And yeah, I know. Traditionally, it's been a while, but from time to time, an update's going to break something. Okay, absolutely, it could potentially break something, but I gotta tell you, it does not happen for the end users as often as it happens for the enterprise network. So you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you do your updates on everything that you can do your updates on. There you go. And so you'll notice, okay, I brought up my Windows Update section on my Windows system. Took a screenshot for you, and you'll note that this is on the settings menu. Okay, if you click on your start button, there's a little gear on your screen, and you can click on there, and you can go to Windows Update, and you can make sure that you have your system's update. How do you do it? Click on the button. Oh, wait a minute. Click on the button that says check for updates. Okay, and it will check and let you know if you need to do your updates, if there are updates available for you. You can also set it up to magically let you know when there are updates to be had, and you can go ahead and get those out of the way and download those and install them, and off you go. Absolutely. So do your updates. That's number one. Make sure that you get new and improved. Okay, cool. Tip number two, don't click. Don't click. The second thing we want to talk about is phishing. Now, I'm not sure. I think this is the picture from Forrest Gump. I think it is at the end of Forrest Gump. But to that end, we're talking about not that type of phishing. We're talking about email phishing, or phishing attacks that occur in a lot of your messages. I got this email in one of my email accounts. Yeah, I have several. Okay, and you'll note that it says it came from PayPal. How do I know? Well, right here, right here in the middle of the screen, it says PayPal. So apparently I got an email from PayPal. It says your PayPal account has been temporarily restricted. Your PayPal account has been limited. We have found suspicious activity on your last transaction. At this time, you won't be able to send payment, withdraw funds, log in to your PayPal account, and take the steps requested, period. And then they give me a nice big button to click on to log into PayPal. And then it says, sincerely, PayPal. Okay, well, I did a little bit of investigation here. Okay, and if you look at that return email, or the return address, it says service@paypal.com. Well, that looks good. That looks okay. But then in the little brackets here, it doesn't say service@paypal.com. It says somebody else at gmail.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, this is a real email that came from somebody's account at Gmail. I got to tell you, PayPal has been around for a long time. They've been around for a real long time. And I'm pretty sure that they have their own email server. Okay, and so I'm pretty sure that did not come from PayPal. But I did some additional looking. I looked right here. Now, if this were actually the button that should take me to the PayPal sign-in window, it would be https://www.paypal.com/us/sign-in. That should be the what they call URL to get me to that particular webpage to log in. Okay, now I did a little bit of digging and I looked and found out that this button actually takes me to this website, qrs.ly/ and then a bunch of strange characters and a question mark, user ID equals, and a bunch of strange characters. Wait a minute, that's not PayPal. I'm pretty sure they've got their own domain for their servers. So yeah, that's not what it was going to take me to. This is a real email. Absolutely. What happens is this: attackers will send you an email, okay, and it will have a hyperlink or a button, or it will have an attachment, okay, that is attached to it, and it looks like it comes from an authorized source. This looks like it comes from PayPal. Okay, and when you click on the button to log in to figure out what's wrong with your account, they're going to ask you for your username and password, and that information will go into their database. Okay, and then they will actually send you to the real PayPal account, the real PayPal window, and they now have your username and password to log into PayPal. Okay, so you can get yourself in a bit of trouble if you start clicking and you start entering information. This can get you in trouble for sure. So be careful when it comes to these. I want to let you know, your bank won't send you an email to the problem with your account. Okay, and if they do, call them or go to the real website. Okay, your CEO or your system administrator will not send you an email and ask you to install updates. They won't do it. They won't do it. If you get an email from someone and you don't expect it, or it doesn't make sense, call them, ask them, hey, did you send me this email? Is this something I need to be worried about? Okay. So yeah, watch out for phishing. Don't click, ladies and gentlemen, don't click. Number 3, ain't nobody's business. Okay. Number 3, here we go. Here it is. Social media. Well, you know what? It would be fantastic if we could get all of the evil out of social media, because it is valuable. It is really valuable. But attackers use social media to do reconnaissance on you. They want to know everything they can about you, not because they like you, but because they want to take advantage of you. One of the things that attackers do is they will pass around these fun little surveys, that'll ask you questions. What's it say? I wish more people did these ... It's fun to learn odd things about friends, and then a winky face and smiley face. Okay, there you go. Favorite smell? Lilac. Last time you cried? Last week. Favorite food? Barbecue, etc., so on. What they're doing is they're asking you questions, okay, to get information about you. Okay. Here's another one. Where did you grow up? Stop. Favorite color? Giving. People, your personal info to guess your password and your security questions. This is precisely what's going on in social media. They're trying to get your sensitive information so that they can pretend to be you and they can log in as you. Okay, and so that's one of the issues with social media. Be careful. Don't give out information that people don't need to know. Absolutely, especially if you're using it for sensitive passwords and things of that nature. All right, hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Yep, and if you got questions, don't worry, I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you have. And we may even have a little bit of time at the end to talk about additional questions. But to that end, we're up to number 4, tip number 4. 2 are better than 1. Okay, now I guarantee you, okay, about X number percent of people in the webcast right now, okay, missed step number 2 and step number 3 when it comes to dealing with phishing and sharing information on social media. Okay, and you're using really simple passwords. Okay, and so your best bet to try to avoid problems with passwords where you, I shared my password online, okay, is use something called two-factor authentication. I have a large number of websites that I log into for tech stuff and other things, okay? And every time I log in, I get a notification on my smartphone, okay? I type in my username, I type in my password, and I get a notification on my smartphone. And what they have sent to me is a one-time password, a one-time password. This is used to allow me access to use that password once to be able to access my accounts, okay? This is what we call two-factor authentication. So even though you just missed step 2 and you clicked on the link and you gave the attacker your password, and you missed number 3 and you participated in the surveys, and now people figure out what you use for your passwords, okay? You have a defense. You have a way to protect yourself, absolutely. You will get a notification that someone's trying to log in with your account, okay? And you'll say, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to put in. We won't be having the web page to put in that one-time password, okay? And so you can prevent unauthorized access, especially if you missed tip number 2 and tip number 3. So use two-factor authentication. You can find with most of your websites that you log into that you have the option to include two-factor authentication, okay? And then tip number 5. Tip number 5 is get out. Get out, okay? Get out of what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call session management. Session management. This is where you logged in to your website, okay, and you've been checking stuff out. You've been doing your social media, you've been doing your Twitter, you've been doing your Facebook, you've been doing your Gmail, what have you, okay, and you've logged in, but what you need to do is to log out. Log out. This is log out for my my Facebook account. You go in, there's a little arrow up in the upper right hand corner of the screen, and make sure that when you're done, log out, okay? When you're in Twitter, okay, log out, okay? When you are in your Gmail, you have an option to sign out. I don't know how many times over the years that I have actually been providing training, okay, that we have gone up to a computer that was used by a student, okay, and clicked and opened up Google or Gmail, and they were logged into their account. Or we opened up Facebook, and they were logged into their account, okay. And it would be so easy to compromise their account at that point, but luckily we were all using our powers for good and not for evil, and we logged out of the account. I cannot guarantee you'll get that same reaction from everyone. So make sure that when you are done with your account, that you log out, because anybody else who sits down at that same system and opens up that web browser and navigates to the right sites will be logged in as you, and they'll have access to your stuff, okay? Cool. So those, ladies and gentlemen, hey, you know what? I did pretty good. I did really good. Those were your 5 tips that we consider security for your end user. That includes new and improved. Make sure you do your updates. Don't click. Be careful of hyperlinks, especially not only in email, but also in instant messaging and on your social media. Be careful of those hyperlinks. You don't know where you're going. Ain't nobody business. Don't share information, sensitive information on social media. 2 are better than 1. Make sure you're using multi-factor authentication to secure your login stuff. And number 5, get out. When you're done with that website, when you're done with that account, make sure you log out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, those are my 5 tips for security for the end users. And I'm willing to field questions. What questions do you have? How do you set up authentication for personal vendor sites like banks and mortgage accounts? Are you asking about multi-factor authentication? If you do, there should be an option with your account setup if they make it available. What's kind of nice about banks and mortgages and places like that is they automatically initiate session management, and your account will actually automatically log out after a certain number of minutes of inactivity. So to that end, logging out should be done, but yeah, and getting multi-factor authentication, that should be an option there. So give that a try. Check in your account settings. And if you can't find it there, check with your bank. They may have information for you as well. Do I have thoughts? I do. Oh, on the use of digital credentials instead of user ID and password, high value, high risk transactions. So you're asking me a question that would be of a high tech nature and beyond the typical end user type of users. But do I have thoughts on those? UbiKey is fantastic. And there are a variety of other options that you can use for authentication instead of usernames and passwords, but usually beyond the end user type of communications. Let's see here. Let's see here. Is it important to log out of accounts on your home PC inside your home? Will somebody else be using your system that you would prefer not to have access to your accounts? Then yes. If not, not as much, but it's nice to get into the practice. From Sally, very good review. I'm funny. that's not what my wife says. No, absolutely. Thank you, Sally. Funny. Is it wise to save your password when asked on your phone or other device? So when it comes to password storage on smartphones, okay, one of the challenges when it comes to a smartphone is ensuring that you have a method of logging onto that smartphone that would prevent someone who were to pick up your smartphone or to steal your smartphone from being able to access all of your stuff. Okay, that would be a preferred method, especially if you have a number of different sites with a number of different passwords. So having authentication just to use your phone would be a preferred method rather than worrying about saving your password on your phone. Okay, but yeah, there's that. Thanks for the tips. The webinar has been very educational. Looking forward to attending more in the future. And we may do that. That'd be fun. Yeah. What else we got?
Hey, George, this is Jenny again. I don't see any more questions coming in. It looks like you've answered them. A lot of feedback on being a great presentation, so thank you so much. I know that was a lot of great information. If you do have questions, you can still type them in and we can grab those for you. Otherwise, we'll follow up with a copy of the recording and you guys can enjoy the rest of your day.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, thanks, George. I don't see any more questions, so I'll go ahead and end it here.
Cool. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.